So we're doing a first walkthrough, checking out what it can be done. Personally, I like the common rail, but somebody else might like the 24 valve. So I'm probably gonna put this up for sale and see what I'm gonna do about it. It's got a brand new blue chipped. We already have an adapter down there for the FAR 5R110W tranny. I think it also will connect to a 12 valve. We already have the motor mounts down there on both sides. We got a HX35W starter. Well, that stays with the truck. Correction. It's got head studs. Had to take the weight off. Well, I didn't have to, but took the weight off the trailer because this thing is really heavy. All right, see what's inside. Okay, you got the wiring harness for the 6.4. Some other parts back here. AC compressor, pulley, crank pulley over there. And got the horn. 6.4 injectors. Miscellaneous. Not a bad truck. And all the parts to put it back together. All right, so we're back at it, and today what I did, I installed the, test fit. I put the engine computer in that I had to buy, as well as the wiring harness. Didn't come with a wiring harness. So I'm just setting it up to see where all the wires is gonna land. Missing a whole lot of screws. I'm gonna have to, bolts. I'm gonna have to go get all the bolts. The horn bolts. Missing a bolt for the fan adapter there. So I'm gonna have to flip this turbo, flip it right side up, put the turbo down there. So the exhaust, I'm gonna have this stock, and I'm probably gonna get different bolts. I usually like to keep factory bolts. I don't like aftermarket stuff because then you have like 10 different type of bolts, and right now these bolts are not even the same size with a wrench, and I really hate having to switch. But we're gonna see if it's gonna turn on. But I like everything to look stock when you open up the hood. So we're gonna see how that's gonna turn out here. That is for the throttle. So I'm waiting for that to show up. Anyway, I'll keep you folks posted. Alright, so I took some time today to work on the truck. I ended up flipping the manifold because he had it upside down for dual turbo, but I'm not doing any of that. And this is the current position, which is a problem down here for a pipe. And if I clock the turbo like this, problem then is the oil return, whack the bottom of the turbo. So I see why they use third gen's manifold to take the turbo and stick it further down there. While I was at it, I tightened up the mounts and I installed the torque converter nuts because they weren't installed. What I like to do is, as I finish something, I like to tighten it up and be done with it so I don't have to remember to go back to it. And I'm also thinking I'm going to reinstall a filter type system that went here instead of putting the fast underneath, because I'm sure I can find a spot, but right now I haven't been able to well, I'm trying not to do too much extra stuff. I'd have to go online and see where the boys put it, because I don't even see where I would even put it down here. Anyway, so that's it for the moment. Let's see. What I also did, I also spun the engine with the exhaust off, manifold off, and I was able to hear all the cylinders breathe. So that's promising. Since I bought this thing pretty much unfinished and no idea if anything is done properly. I did see some oil leak over here underneath the tranny. Let me see if I can get a video of it. You see an oil leak right there. So hopefully that's not the crank, the rear main seal. But we'll see when I turn it on. Okay, so I bit the bullet and I rip out the original pump and I put up a fast pump that I got a deal on. It was one sitting in a salvage yard. So slap that up. I haven't plumbed it up yet. Just mounted it today. And I also took out the HX35. So I gotta put that up for sale, because what I did, I put in the 2003-2004 HE341 turbo and that other manifold which tucks it under instead of having it way out here. To me it's a better look, looks more original, cleaner look in my opinion. Alright, so little by little I'm waiting on the screws for the wiring so I can put the wiring up nice and neat, or as neat as possible. And that's the other harness for the Ford. I'll get to that when I get to it, but it shouldn't be much trouble since you only have the two, two sensors, two temperature sensors, oil sensor, temperature sensor, oil sensor, and there's a fuel temperature sensor also, but I hear you don't have to plumb it, just put it wherever. Anyway, so just waiting on a few other parts, put all this stuff back together, and then we're gonna see if it'll start. And I put the other intake air horn on there as well. And that's our current status.